Charmaine, peace and freedom, and welcome on this blessed night. I know that this has a lot of relevance, a lot of different traditions, but we're going to break things down tonight from the Kametic standpoint, as usual, regarding the Kametic origins of the Virgin Mary and or the Black Madonnas. Now I've got this congestion going here and a cough. Please forgive me. It actually was my hope that I was going to be able to pre-record all of this just so I could have more control over that. But my body said you need some rest, and so I had to listen to it. However, I have all of my visuals prepared, and I'm very excited about being able to share this with you all tonight. As we work our way into the global calendar's new year, uh, it's important for us to truly focus on what we have learned and also to focus on where we are going. It's always about uh, examining your life, seeing what fits and what does not. What goals have you achieved this year? And with this message today, we'll be talking about the importance of understanding the origins of the Black Madonna as they go all the way back to Kemet, but also in understanding how we were supposed to apply all of this maternal energy to ourselves. We don't nurture ourselves enough. Some of us kind of go overboard with that, but for the most part, a lot of us don't give ourselves enough time to heal or enough time to slow down, enough time to prevent something worse from happening. And so, please excuse me. And I couldn't take anything hardcore until after I finished this so that I wouldn't fall asleep. Let me know how everybody's doing tonight. What are you doing tonight with your family, if anything? And also tomorrow. I look forward to seeing my family the day after Christmas. We always have a big shindig at my aunt's house, and this is the first one that we've had. We're having in a long time since COVID. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get into this. First, we're going to open with prayer. I'm going to talk as loud as I can and turn this music down so that you're able to hear me more easily. And please, please share that we are here on the air. Please, on Facebook, like my page, like the video, and indeed share it. Divine Limitless Creator, we thank you so much for another day, for another opportunity to get it right. And we honestly are grateful for the lessons of this year, for the lessons that are to come, and for the wisdom that we are applying from everything that we have experienced. Bring us light, bring us inner vision, give us the discipline to act on what is right, and to live in a place of health and wealth and love and peace and respect for one another, for we do not live in this world alone. And as we continue with our season of light, we are honoring the light within us and that maternal light that is within us that we need to turn on for nurturing ourselves. Dua Nachur, Dua Nachur. Amen. Amen. All right. So, many of you are familiar with the Black Madonna. Well, the image that has been used for the Virgin Mary. And so, for those of you who are in consciousness, you're aware of the fact that this is imagery that came out of ancient Africa. But most people only assume that it is from Osset, who the Greeks called Isis. She's known as Osset, Iset, the name Ast also, and those words mean the throne. She is depicted with a throne on her head. In fact, let me share this image with you. I'm sure we're all familiar with these images. To the far left, we have Aset. She has a throne on her head. That's how we identify her. Next to her is Heteru. Heteru is sometimes called Aset, or a version of her, or that Aset is actually a version of um, Heteru, but also of Hatmeit, and we'll get to her in just a moment. It's important to see how the statuary is created. The goddess mother goddess, excuse me, is uh, nurturing from the breast. That's considered the ultimate act of love when you are uh, nurturing a child. All the nutrition comes from the mother. And we also have Ursula Dantour, who is uh, the Virgin Mary figure in Haitian Vodun. Excuse me. And then the figure that you see there on the right is the Virgin Mary that most people are highly familiar with. But how far back does it really go? It's much further beyond Aset, or who the Greeks called Isis. In fact, here's how far back it goes. We have Beset and baby Besu. Now, a lot of people aren't really familiar with Beset. If you follow our broadcast, our service, then you know who she is. She is the opener of the way. You see a time portal behind her, and the one who carries you safely through is Besu. Now, there are some depictions where Besu is the child, others where he is the mate or the husband. But most often, you will see imagery where, just like on the right, you see Beset, who is nurturing baby Besu. And hopefully you can see that. It was really hard trying to chase that image down. It's in my book, but you can see where this is one of the original images of ancient goddess mother and time, mother and child. Now, here's what's interesting also. With Beset holding Besu, again, both of them open the way. She opens portals and he carries you safely through them. He is the equivalent of Eshu. But actually, he's a combination of Eshu and Legba, for those of you who are familiar with Orisha culture, because Eshu is so wild he's outside, and uh, Legba is the toned down version of Eshu that you can bring in the house. In ancient Kemet, Besu was in the house, and but also outside. He was both indoor and outdoor, and a protector of the home, protector of children, a warrior, and depicted often with a knife. There are depictions of Beset with weapons as well. Beset is believed to be an earlier version of Bast. Yes, indeed. So we have that image. And here's the other thing that's interesting, speaking of Orisha culture. There is a correlation with Nana Baruku, or Nana Burunke, those of you who are familiar with her from the West African traditions of Ifa culture, and then also in Candomblé, also in Regla de Ocha. And so there she is, the ancient mother of time and timelessness. She's of the sweet waters, she's of the two waters. And so she has a son who is Babaluaye. The Babaluaye eventually became all covered with uh, forestry, with straw and so forth to cover himself because he had a bad skin condition that developed. And the correlation with that is with Besu holding on to, I'm sorry, with Beset holding on to baby Besu, who eventually grows into this hairy uh, um, little person, this quote unquote dwarves that were given high respect because of their knowledge, their wisdom, and their abilities in ancient Kemet, but who were considered something of outsiders because they didn't look like everybody else. So you see the similarity between Nana Buruku and her son Babulwaye and Beset and Besu. And in truth, her name really is pronounced Beset, with the hard S or the Z sound. She's associated with serpents and also with fire. And she is like the Dwa people, capable of levitating and time travel. And she's a great nurturer, fierce protector. And so she's another one of the earliest images of the Madonna and child. Moving on, many of you are familiar with this. This is an AI version that I created today of Nit and baby Sebek or Sobek. But Nit, who is the self-created, she says, "I created myself," and so she's created from parthenogenesis. Now you see on the right, here's a statue of her nursing her two children. She's mostly known for Sebek or Sobek, but she also had another son named Dudu. And she is so fierce that she's having her crocodile babies nurse at the breast. she's really quite something. Uh, One of the earliest pictures, depictions again of Madonna and child. But she is establishing right from the beginning who she is. Don't play with her. She's a warrior. She's a nurturer, yes. She's a weaver. That's where knitting comes from. She is the domestic arts, but she is also the warrior arts. And as with most of, well, really all of the guardians in ancient Kemet, all of the female guardians, they all had weaponry. Nit was not to be taken as a joke. You see, she is dressed here in red. That's her color. She has her red Deshret crown. And I don't know if you can make it out, but on her son, he is wearing a little crocodile pendant. Now, a lot of times people get freaked out because they see imagery of the guardians as half animal, half human, or all human but with an animal head. I really have enjoyed creating art where they look human. And there are things that are in the art that are associated with them, but it's much easier to be able to relate to them as a humanoid, if you will, looking guardian, as opposed to an animal. And people don't understand that the animals were used to show the strength of the guardian. So with Sebek and Dudu, they were depicted as the crocodiles because crocodiles held great power, and because in order to live in Kemet, you had to be very careful of the wildlife in the water. And certainly an alligator could snatch you, or a crocodile could snatch you under the waves or under the surface of the water and kill you at any time. So building up a symbiotic relationship with the uh, the flora and fauna, as well as all the different aspects of the aquatic life there in the Hapi or any other water sources, was vital to them. It made them a lot more keenly aware of their surroundings and kept them out of danger. And so understanding also that their belief in the power of nature, or God, was It was demonstrated by the alligator, or the crocodile, I'm sorry, in saying, look how strong the crocodile is. Look what a fierce protector it is. Look how it can kill you like that. But look how, if you work with the environment, it will show you respect and also will uh, give you what you need in order for you to live safely where you are. This is how the animal depictions came to be, because people came to understand that these were correlations of how powerful their local god or goddess was. And it's the same belief that we have today for those of us who are Kemetic faith practitioners. Now, here's what's interesting also, because, in the whole notion of the Madonna and child, we have the idea of this virgin birth. And people will say that with Osset or Aset or Iset, that she had a virgin birth, but not really, because I'm not going to go into the story right now. A lot of you are probably familiar with it. If not, this is good homework for you to do. But she drew seed from her husband who had passed away, and she revived him and was able to get pregnant. So even though she didn't directly have sex with him, it's still the fact that she was able to use his semen in order for her um, to get pregnant with baby Heru. Okay, but it's not the same as an immaculate conception. Now, if you're going to talk about an immaculate conception, then that concept goes along much better with Nit, who herself was self-created, and even though it is said that her mate was or is Kenemu, or Satesh, still the idea is she created these babies herself. And so that would be more exact with Nit as opposed to a set. Now, going on and talking about Heru. Well, when exactly did baby Heru come to the fore? Many people believe that baby Heru was first on the scene with Aset. Not so. Let me see. He was on the scene. Let me see. Do I have that graphic right here? Let me just pull this up. One of the earliest recorded uh, mothers of Heru was actually Hatmeit. Hatmeit was the forerunner to, here we are, Set. Now, for those of you who know, we are a water temple. We're a Kametic water temple. And so we honor the ancient guardians who are mostly pre-dynastic. And Hatmeit is one of those. She's known for wearing the fish crown. She predates Yamaja, and or is associated with Yamaja because her name means she of the full breast, or mother of fishes, or she of the full heart. Just like Yamaja is known to be full-breasted, known to be big-hearted and loving. It's the same idea. So there are early depictions of Hatmeit nursing baby Heru, as you see on the left. So what happened? The reason that people started believing that Heru was the child of Set. Well, there have been many Herus throughout the ages, and Heru is sort of a Christ-like figure, or Kerest. Kerest is the human remains. It represents life over death. It represents regeneration. But Heru he is said to have been reincarnated many times, or that there have been guardians who have been here who took the name Heru, or even royalty who took the name Heru. But Heru was a very popular name. It means to be awake, it means day, and it certainly means to be spiritually awakened as well. So Hatmeit has a counterpart that many are familiar with, and that counterpart is Banebjadet. Banebjadet is a version of Khnum. Now, the three of them, Khnum, Banebjadet, and Hatmeit, and Heru became a triad. And again, this was long before Aset showed up on the scene. When Aset became popular much later, the qualities of Hatmeit were given to her because the fact that Hatmeit was so very popular. Hatmeit represents wealth and abundance, but she also represents food, plentiful food from the Hapi or the Nile, with the fish, the abundance of fish. And she was also a huntress as well. She represents community. She represents self-love, but she also represents love for everyone who is in her protective circle. Okay, please forgive me again for my cold. Okay, so from Hatmeit, we should also talk about Hecate and Khnemu. Hecate, many of you know, is the frog-headed deity, and she represents birth, rebirth, and she was considered an early midwife. And her symbol as the frog was carried over into Christianity, a symbol again of birth and rebirth. You see a chest that's there in the picture. I made sure to add that because that is associated with her as well. When you go through her trials, and she takes things from you, and if you succeed, then you get everything back and then some, and it becomes like you have a treasure trove. Now, what about Khnemu or Khnum? He is holding a child, and the reason he's holding the child is because he is known for creating children at the potter's wheel. He is the equivalent of Obatala in the Orisha traditions, or Oshala in Condomblé and also in Banda. That's what he's known as. But he is the father of the white robes in the Kametic tradition as well. And he's the one who created life and souls at the potter's wheel. And the one who gives the life, who gives the breath of life, is Hecate. They work together. Now, if you're to look at that, that is definitely an example of a more immaculate creation, because this was Khnemu, who is also, like Oshala, at times considered to be of both sexes. But he's a creator, Nitshur, and he creates souls from the potter's wheel. This is not requiring the sex act. It's not requiring intimacy, even though he is a lover of intimacy. You know, one of his names is the owner of the house of joy. He loves all aspects of pleasure, of happiness, of things that are going to make life easier. Why? Because he is the bringer of life. So this is another example that more fits the picture of an immaculate conception. Now, there we see Hecate and Khnemu, and here we see on the temple wall Khnemu, who has created a being, and Hecate, who is giving him an unk, feeding him an unk, He's about, she ordinarily you would see that the unk being fed into the person, showing that she is giving the breath of life. And finally, let's take a look again at the original artwork that is associated with the Madonna or the Virgin Mary. On the left, a set with her throne as her crown. Het Heru, and we are still in Het Heru season, although Aset is celebrated at this time because of the birth of Heru, and then Het Heru, who is also considered to be a mother of Heru. Excuse me. She is the house of light, and he is the son of light. And then we have the Virgin Mary and the Christ child. Now, in the Vatican, they acknowledge the Black Madonna, and they have the Black Madonna. In fact, there are many other places in the world where she is acknowledged, and also Black Jesus is acknowledged. And that's for another video. In fact, I made a movie about that, and so I'll be sharing that soon. But what's really interesting is focusing on how we are able to harken back all the way into the beginning of recorded time with the mother and child. So here's the question. Are you nurturing yourself? Were you nurtured as a child? Do you miss that nurturing? Do you find that there were people who were jealous of you because you had that nurturing and others didn't? Or were you someone who was devoid of nurturing and saw other people and missed out on it in your own life? The great thing is that even as an adult, you can still nurture yourself. Now, I'll tell you, I have been a huge advocate of therapy. Today I was thinking about the fact that I have been in therapy consistently since 2016. And it has made a huge difference in my life. And I want to also say this. For people who feel that it's okay to contact me and let me know what people who have left my life are doing, because I put a lot of people out of my life this year, a lot. When I came to realize this person's no good, this person means me no good, this person's got to go, this person. Do not call me or text me and tell me about individuals who are no longer in my life. I don't need to know unless they're planning to blow up my house or do something like that that's dastardly or that's going to be hurtful to me and mine. Otherwise, I don't care what they're doing. It has taken me a long time to get to that point of recognizing I don't have to care and I don't have to feel guilty about not caring. This is about being able to nurture myself, and I'm sure a lot of you can identify with this as well. Listen, don't let people who see that you are progressing and you put garbage out, do not let them try to drag that garbage back into your life, into your house, into your world. You continue to focus on keeping your life clean in the way that you need for it to be. That could be the most difficult part of when you are advancing. When you have gone through a major change, a major shift, and people see it, they feel it. Sometimes they envy it. That's their issue. Keep shining. Keep doing what you need to do to nurture yourself, making sure that you are safe, that you are not preoccupied with the people who you put out of your life, okay? You focus on the good people that you've brought into your life, because when something is moved out, it's important to replace it with something positive, because nature hates a vacuum. You don't want to go through the trouble of putting somebody out, and next thing you know, you're attracting somebody just like who was the person or people that you put out. No. This is your time to focus. If you have people that you still need to remove from your life, then what are you waiting for? Do what is best for you, for your own self nurturing. Why? Because this will bring about the rebirth that you need. The image of the Black Madonna and child reminds us of the importance of family and nurturing. You see a difference when you have a child that has been showered with love, affirmed with good things about themselves, where their talents are nurtured as well. And you see that they are carrying themselves in a way that is different than other children who may have low self esteem, who may turn into bullies. For you, are you a bully? Are you a user? I always go back to this question. Are you scapegoating the fact that you don't feel good about yourself and then you go and take it out on other people or take advantage of other people? This is not healthy. You know, we live in a world where high achievement is encouraged, and of course we're always talking about that here. That's a good thing, it's important, but how is it that you get it? Are you stealing from other people? Are you walking all over other people? Are you obsessed with gimme, 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 and not thinking about the impact it's having on others because you're willing to stab somebody in the back to get what you want? And a lot of times that's connected with the lack of nurturing. You know, sometimes you have people who grew up at a financial disadvantage, and they end up flipping around the other way and becoming greedy, doing whatever they need to do to make sure that they're never in those circumstances again. It's kind of like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. You know, that scene where she, after the rebel troops have come through and have taken everything from Tara, and she and everybody are hungry, and she's out in the field and she sees a carrot growing up out of the ground, and she jumps on the carrot and she's eating it, and she's choking it down. She can hardly even eat because she's so hungry, and she's just choking on it, and she just starts like kind of coughing it out. And then she says, God is my witness, I'll never go hungry again, with that same famous scene with the fist going up, you know, if I have to lie, cheat, kill. So I understand it. I don't agree with it, because I've seen the impact that happens when people go overboard in getting what they want because they do not want to go back to their former state. If you don't do it with integrity, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Always. Always. So here at Shanu, we focus on sharing integrity tips and abundance building tips based on ancient Kametic ways, but also understanding that it begins with how you love yourself and how you share that love with the world. If you are doing things that you're doing things that are devoid of that love energy, you know, then there's a problem. You know, I mean, that also means that you're not like buying your way into something. You're not superficially there to help, but you really have another agenda. That's not healthy. Hatmait talks about healthy community. That is her thing. And the fish, they travel together. Yes, most of the time they travel together in a school, and they actually take turns as far as who leads. One gets tired and it lags back, and another one steps up to take its place. This is true community. Everybody shares, and you're looking out for each other because you don't want predators to come along. We talked about predators last time and how that factors into the oracle for this year. So, Madonna and child, listen, in the story of Osset, and again, please do your research if you're not familiar with it, she was protected. She and baby Heru were protected by a loving community. Hecate was there for her, okay? Wadjet was there for her. A screen was built for her, created for her in the swamp so she could hide and protect baby Heru because he was a weakly child. And Satesh was out to get him. And this is where the whole story with Jesus, you know, and Herod putting out this order to kill, you know, the babies. This is the origin of that story. So basically, there was a hit put out on baby Heru. If it were not for the loving community that was there to support Aset, then Heru would not have grown to become the warrior and the salvation of Kemet the way that he did. Okay? All right. Let's take a couple of minutes just to meditate. And as we close, everybody okay? Oh, look at everybody here. Oh, give thanks and praise. Sister Manira, how are you? Yes, that's right. Remove everyone who mean you no kind of good. I'm telling you, that's the thing. Everybody. Lottie dottie, everybody. And that Charmaine, uh, Abut, Abut, Tawar, usually I'm so used to popping up on Abut, Tawar Rakit asked, how are you? Yes, forward ever, backward never. I hope that you and your mother are having a wonderful holiday season. Shawanda Sheree, blessings on this Sunday. I'm glad, Munira. I'm glad, Sister Munira. Strong sister in the community. Yes, indeed. Brandon, happy winter to you. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Okay. Abut Eyat, Taort Rakit asked. I just heard a whisper in my ear, you forgot the Ayat. This is our beloved elder, and the Ayat is important because it means a woman of greatness, an elder of greatness. Okay? So, much, much love to you. Much, much love. All right. Let's close our eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Sarek. Nifa. Sarek. Nifa. Sarek. Nifa. Relax your breathing. Envision how you will nurture yourself in this upcoming year. This is your chance for rebirthing, rebuilding, repurposing. Thank you. I do that. In fact, when I leave this broadcast, I'm going to be rubbing some more on Duao because I'm nurturing myself. Yes, indeed. What things have you achieved this year? What things were left undone? But it's okay. And you need to address them in 2024. I have to say, today I was thinking I'm so proud of myself. Most of what I wanted and needed to achieve got taken care of this year. I'm so grateful, so grateful. And I'm looking forward to what 2024 brings. I've learned a lot about nurturing myself. Are you nurturing yourself? Are you taking the time to rest? Are you taking the time for joy? As Kenamu reminds us, the importance of joy. Hedheru reminds us the importance of joy. Hatmeit, finding and living in joy. Many of us who are change makers in our community can have difficulty with that, where we're just on the go, on the go, on the go, doing, but not really enjoying life. Let 2024 be that space for you to find love, peace, and enjoyment. What will that take? And now, See and feel the presence of the great divine mother as she wraps her arms around you and speaks loving words into your ear. Place your hand on your heart, and you're able to feel her hand. I got you. She's saying, I got you. This year, according to our oracle reading, is about guarding your heart, guarding your soul. It is guarding the soul. In order to do that, you must really look out for yourself and those around you in the best way. Place your hand back on your lap. If you found that you were in a home that was not nurturing, tell yourself it's okay to move on and to find what is necessary for you to heal in order for you to be the best person that you can be. As I count down from 10 to 1 with the stuffy nose, we'll leave the meditation and return to the presence of this room. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly open your eyes. Nice breath. Sorek. Nifa. Tamra, how are you? Sorek. Nifa. Sorek. Nifa. Relax your breathing. Tamra, please send me a picture of your boys. I know that they must be they were towering over you the last time that I saw. I hope everyone has a really beautiful and wonderful family day tomorrow. Remember that your life is golden. In the same way the Heket or Hekatit, Hekatet, all three are correct, feeds life into the newly crafted soul. You are able to do the very same thing because your life is indeed precious. Oh, one more thing. Goodness gracious. I've dropped the price on the Kametic birth report, the birth charts. They were $649. For the holidays, I have dropped them to $300. You can go. Your boys are huge. I'll bet they are. Oh my goodness. Life, it just moves so fast. You go to my website, www.imakhu.info/store. You'll see the special right at the top. And if some people have ordered charts to give thanks, I'm really, listen, I'm progressing. I am really progressing with all the things I need to catch up with, and having clarity of thought and being alleviated of concerns makes a big difference. The medication thing that I went through also, huge difference. So I'm thankful for this year. I'm thankful for you all. And I hope that you have a really beautiful and blessed night. If you enjoyed this, please share this. And Beria, much love to you all. Mkut and Mer, pulling in divine light, expressing it as love. Give thanks.